go, okay, Na'Vi, to best in the world right now statistically, they should do well with this. But these are two teams, I'm with the boys in MnM, that have had their ups and had their downs, and both of them are capable of bringing this game around. Capitão off the board first.
MnM having, I think, a lot more ups than I would say downs this season. I'm with the boys, on the other hand, the team which we spoke to them very early on in the season before it happened. They were thinking, oh yeah, easy top 2 for us. Nobody else can contest us except for Na'Vi. MnM were the big spanner in the works for every team last season.
Yeah.
Or this season, should I say. That's
the thing about it, is and it's one of the things worth noting is how much they've kind of got their heads down and tried to get their game on point. They were scrimming up until the last possible second of how to play into this tournament, and it's just shown in how aggressive they're playing, how well balanced they seem to be playing, and how well they want to play against the teams that we are seeing so far. Clubhouse is a map for these two teams, however. How are you feeling? What's your demo feelings on this?
I don't know. Club's a little bit weird at the moment in the meta. You always look at it, you think defender-sided has been a big part of it. Attackers, though, they have had a big uprise in really how they've managed to get around Clubhouse. Bans are always a massive thing. That's really what it comes down to. We look at double hard breacher bans, which happens before, which is definitely defender-sided. Capitão Hibana, I think pretty standard. Capitão to alleviate pressure from top floor. Hibana, obviously, for the basement. Mira Echo, again, another 2 standard picks. Maestro, take your pick, whatever one you want to go for. Maestro's more of an NA ban than anything.
Yeah. I like the idea that they're doubling down on the electrics here. They've got the Bandit. They've got themselves the Kaid as well. And that kind of just allows them to, well, I guess they're going to try and do a bit of a very aggressive hold against this CCTV wall, but you've got to think of the width of this point. You've got to think exactly where you can see them reinforcing down below on the garage. You've got construction side as well. That is a big bit of issue that you've kind of got to be in control of. So, you know, it looks like they're going to try and play this as defensively as they can.
So they get the defense first, which we know is huge for this map specifically. You always give yourself that great lead, that aggressive lead, I would say. You have some really strong bomb sites. You look at the basement, really strong, not having Hibana as well for the attackers. You really have to pick your poison. Maverick being allowed, though, it should make the top 4 a little bit easier. I think top 4 always is easier for the attackers compared to basement for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about this kind of wall on CCTV is you have 1,000,001 different ways to get through it. You obviously have the big gun holding on top of garage. You have the cameras. You have the ability to be aggressive inside. As you can see where Dats is holding. His eyes are going to be on that door, and his camera, well, it's going to zap drones and occasionally keep an eye on the 4 walls below. Drak is actually going to try and play it as Kaid from range, so they're going to have to try and clear around the opposite side, go underneath the wall and underneath the point.
Yeah, people forget. You can Kaid the wall from below. A very sneaky strategy, but Thatcher's there. Is it really going to be an issue? It shouldn't be if it's a strong team like we know I'm with the boys. They have some great fragging potential. Yami, for me, is a big standout player, and if he can start getting the kills, start getting ramped up, it could be a real big thing that MnM will start to struggle with. We've seen what he did in the last Playday for playoffs. He was insane.
Yeah, and I think that's the kind of thing about it, is they have so many of these players that are really, really kind of good at doing these individual moments. But in the meantime, Packbull has opened this up and is taking down Vex. And now we're starting to see the collapse down against the point. Reese is going to hold on and try and keep an angle and try and swing round via this big open wall. But as we said, this wall, it used to be the end of a push. It used to be the last thing you would do. And now it is the opening. It's the first step in a much longer strategy of how to try and get control all the way around. And well, let's see him finally get that drone. Drak and Yami, in the meantime, brings us back to a 4-4 balance. Maverick's up the board, but at this point, well, he's kind of done his work.
Still a minute 15 to go. I'm with the boys. Plenty of time if you look at Clubhouse. A very slow-paced map. We think of a team like Team Vitality. They were known for this map specifically because they didn't really need a whole lot of time to make things happen. A couple of trades come in. 3v3 now, a minute to go. You have Thermite, Thatcher, Sophia. Yami, he's below. He's hunting for someone, trying to find another option. See if he can try and push them in. They know Junka's roaming, but Junka, he just walks up the stairs. An easy kill on Reese with the upside-down rappel, and that should be the round done for him with the boys. I really don't think they're going to be able to pull this off now. There's still a roamer. They have no real headway into the bomb site. There's still Jaeger going at it. Junka, he can't be stopped.
Well, with 40 seconds and none of it needed, finds the end of that, and it's just now a matter of trying to creep their way up to, no, shut down on the red stairs. And, well, the first round in the favor of the defenders and in the hands of MnM.
pretty standard. I think that's what we expect for Clubhouse these days. A very strong roam game coming in from Junker. Quick free kills. That's pretty tough to do on Clubhouse roaming. I'm with the boys, perhaps a little bit lackluster in kind of how they went about that. Pushing guys in one by one, I think, is always a thing that UK teams struggle with the most. You look at Yami, he was downstairs hunting by himself. Why is nobody else going with him?
Yeah, I mean, there was just little moments inside that they're really going to have to try and pull themselves back to and pull themselves back around as we kind of progress into this game, because that was one of the main things that we kind of called these teams on throughout the entire season, was these little mistakes, these little moments of not quite having the shoulder. Do you remember the first week and the lack of drones?
Oh, yes.
And the kind of the face-checking system that thankfully did edge its way out as we got through, but it's still these little moments and still these little mistakes that seem to not really be coming together. And I guess it's, you know, that's going to be the make or break today.
Whenever these teams, they've said in their interviews, they want to be making it for Challenge League, Pro League, whatever it is. You can't do the basics. You'll get chewed up by other teams. It's not only UK teams in the world. We've seen what other European countries are capable of. You look at the French scene and how good they are. You look at the teams that they've piled into Challenge League. We've only really had 2 UK teams. That's not a lot, Fluke.
Yeah, and I think that's the kind of thing that we've got to think about at this point is, you know, with the UK scene and with it being as kind of explosive as it's been, there's so many great players, so many of these players that have played together and played on the same kind of teams and rosters that they've, you know, come together and fallen apart and all of this stuff, and I think it's trying to find some solidity, and for me that's what MnM seems to do. But, you know, we've got to kind of see it come together. We've got to see these moments play out, and at this point, you know, Clubhouse is a good map for this. Jonker opens up the frags, takes care of Vex, and that's the Maverick for the second time today. Yep. He's the first attacker off the board, and, well, hopefully he's been able to do something at this point.
Look what he has, Fluke. My favorite, the demo special, the Titan Killer, has made its appearance already.
Before it gets nerfed.
Before it gets nerfed.
Before it gets nerfed. Let's please get as much FO12.
I kind of feel as if it's my fault for hyping it up too much. They must have heard me.
Oh, he doesn't
go for the pistol.
Went for the pistol from underneath, but Jonker and Packbull in the meantime are finding body after body. Suddenly, it is down to Yami and Reese as they try and make this final collapse down. In the meantime, Castle's having a bit of a drink downstairs and Jonker's suffering a low bit of health, but they have done barely any clearance against this point and against this pretty diversive hold now. All of this central hallway in the bar side is still firmly under the control of MnM, and with a minute 30, the two boys remaining with the boys have to start thinking of something fast.
Jonker, he is on one today. Already, 2 rounds in, that's 6 kills for him, Fluke. That's some big figures in the opening stages already. Yami gets another one for himself. There's 3 kills for him, but still 2 more to find. Really nothing to go off. It's the gym and bedroom. There's still 2 defenders up. Junker, he's low HP. There is clutch potential. Fires out concussion, trying to use that as a kind of scouting mechanic. Make sure nobody's going to be there. Tries to pre-fire in towards the staircase angle, but still just toying with it. The crossfire's here from MnM, but Junker gives himself up. Yami, no, looks the wrong way. A valiant effort, but still MnM, they did it in the early game.
Yeah, I know, it's the thing about those kind of moments, and I think we're going to have this heat up as the day gets further and further and further along, is, you know, those kind of standout players that we talk about, those clutch potential moments that, yeah, you can't hinge an entire strategy on, please don't try, but at the same time, so many of these players are capable of this kind of play and these kind of movements.
So 2 already, and that was the gym and bedroom. There's still the church to go.
Yeah.
No Habana. Means that I'm with the boys, they're going to have a real big struggle. And if you look at like the way Siege is done, the more operators we get added in, the less you can kind of play around with. You think about you're only set with 5. Whenever there's operators that get added in, whenever the bans are so frequently used, how are you really going to fit everything that you need? If you know there's going to be no Habana, you know that like Kaid is still up, you're probably going to bring your Thatcher and your Maverick. If you're bringing both of those, which kind of similar, same job, isn't it? You know, Maverick's the kind of glorified Thatcher role. What do you miss out on? To be fair, they're still bringing Soft Breach. They're still bringing Sophia. I don't know, is there anything else that they could kind of think about taking? Smokes, perhaps, could be one?
You know, what we've kind of already commented on is the lack of a bit of cover from I'm with the boys. That lack of kind
Jackal's
of
free?
cohesion. Well, that's it. If they can set themselves up for a little bit more of a slower pace, but a little bit more of a dedicated collective, bring a Jackal, move as a unit, find these bodies that of MnM can get very aggressive, and sometimes you can kind of pull them into these over-rotate situations, and with a good drone game, start to shut them down from possibilities. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's possible. And these are definitely ways that they can kind of play themselves into this. In the meantime, those hatches, as you said, they're a bit of a no-go. Kaid's on the board, and, well, your Hibana isn't. So you've got to either play this with a very good Maverick player, who unfortunately has been the first off the board pretty much twice in a row now, and well, it leaves you just down to your Thermite, and that's a big waste of charges. You can see Drac is just going to hang around in that kind of moto hole and make sure he catches that hatch, and they're going to leave Kitchen as the battle it often is. But with Impacts, it's always that, kind of fight anyway. Yeah,
we never really see Kitchen hatch being open because of the Impact tricks, which are so strong against Thermite or the Hibana. It doesn't really matter. So, to be fair with Maverick, he can get hatch open, and he can also go open the dirt. He can create a crouch hole. Remember the last Prem Finals when Vex was doing this something with the Maverick hole, and we've seen some of the best artwork we've ever seen. I'm glad he's learned from his mistakes.
I mean, he's definitely coming in a bit heated now, and I think that's a good thing, because Vex is an exceptional player.
A really
great fragger, and to see him dropped early is a bit of a shame for what can be a big capabilities of I'm with the Boys, and in a weird way, it's kind of how some of the season of I'm with the Boys have gone. However, Hayes, with the opening grenade, starts to swing things into their favor as Jonka's taken out of the equation, and a Jaeger killed by a grenade is always a beautiful bit of irony there, but we'll see if they can finally start to capitalize on this. A good close down via Oil and Blue, and they're starting to put a bit of back pressure on the point as Hayes is just going to try and keep that rotation control.
Not even that. That's Jonka gone. That was the man who was causing him so many issues, and Packbull just wide swings with a shotgun, and Tanky falls, and Vex is there with the refrag. You gotta be kidding me, Vex.
Well, he managed to put some bullets in, but it's Smoke, and Smoke is able to cover his retreat, and now they've got to double down, but without the hard destruction, their options have become much more limited. It's going to be down to some incredible artwork from the hands of the Blowtorch right now, and it seems to be struggling, but it doesn't even matter. Packbull with the revenge swings round the back via Moto, and now he's still just roaming free. He cannot get another kill now as he goes in with a shotgun. He finds one. He almost finds 4.
Same. Just name something better than a Smoke in Moto with a shotgun. Name something that's better than that, Fluke. How many times have we seen that happen?
That's the thing, though. If the classic works, don't change it. Don't break it.
Name a better duo. Well, apart from us, of course.
Yeah, well, Kickstar and...
Kix and Taro? Are we really going to try and
supposed to be
bash it? Are they?
Oh, okay. CCTV and Cash. We're back to point rotation now. We head back to the top floor, and this was a good point from the hands of MnM. However, now it's down for I'm with the Boys to see what they've learned, because the start of the previous round, until Smoke went off on one, was very good from I'm with the Boys.
The fact that they even allowed Packbull to get that first opening kill is really dumb from I'm with the Boys.
Yeah.
You think how many times a Smoke has just peeked with a shotgun? It's a very CQB kind of area around that Moto. They should be ready for that. I will have to say that was Vex. That's on Vex. He was supposed to cover. He didn't give that cover. Didn't even get the refrag. That's what really turned me the wrong way there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about it, is we've already kind of mentioned this over-the-shoulder cover. It's one of the things that makes the difference between a fantastic team and one that can't quite make it work. And, well, I guess we'll see if they can, again, learn from it. Because this is a learning game. It's a call and response game. You see what they're doing. You see how they're doing it, and you find ways to bring it back round into your favor. And I'm with the Boys are a lineup that we've had high hopes throughout this entire season because all of us know how good they are and how good they can be.
One of the, I think, the only teams with actual Pro League experience, and that does come in the form of Tank. He's the only guy who's been there. Of course, we have to mention it. His almighty record, the only team to get 10-0'd.
I mean, well, there he goes.
There he goes, living up to his name.
Live up to the record. Nathan opens up the frag there through the hole, and yet again, Thermite is off the board, and that is just a big it's a big problem.
It is a bit of a hindrance, but still we can see the Maverick trick where they just fully take away the reinforcement by, of course, drilling the bottom half and then also the top half, and then just completely get rid of a reinforcement. You can open up with any soft breach, your Buck Sophia, whatever you want to use. But instead, they've just drilled the hole, and perhaps they're looking to go for a rotate. I don't know, still isn't looking too good for them with the Boys. MnM still have some firm control in towards the garage. They have the Maestro set up, and well, Maestro, whenever Echo and Mira does get banned, Maestro is always going to be that anchor everybody falls back to. And well, for good reason, the Alda. Great gun, 81 bullets, high RPM, damage, fire rate, everything. What more could you want?
That's the thing. And with the cameras and the way you can kind of just hold visual control inside Garage as well, it just shows how exceptional it can be. The smoke played pretty brilliantly there to stop Vex and being able to play this Maverick trick. He's trying to get close enough to burn it, but without burning through his own health. And well, there goes a little bit more of the wall, but unfortunately can't quite find the lines just yet. And well, it's a lot of time and a lot of work, and it's not the cleanest, but it does work.
They have to try and open this up with bullets.
Do you remember, I think we saw in one of the weeks.
This is so sad to watch.
I think it was in OGA where it was Suzaku's team shot through a hatch.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting those feelings.
Oh, my.
Yami takes care of Drak. In the meantime, they're collapsing in on the backside. 2 versus 3 as Nathan, who lost his life at the very beginning of this game, is able to find some resemblance of resilience the second time round. They've closed down the multiple angles. The Maestro is still just holding down, and there goes the camera. And that was a big, big take. 30 seconds and a body on either side, and no more on the back. It's all down to Reef. And he's just going to fall down and go for a hard rotate. This is his only option and his only excuse now. And, well, he's not even going to begin to find his way in.
MnM, so dominant. I'm with the boys, just not having anything to work with. They are losing men early on, and very important operators. Thermite straight off the rip, you had to rely on shooting out a wall.
It's a classic move.
Not a good one.
If in doubt, shoot it as much as you can, and it might work.
Don't know if that's what you do whenever you're in gold or whatever it is that you're on about with.
My silver tier games.
Your silver tier. You play with Dej, you must know him because he's around that rank, is he not?
You know, well, it's his birthday, and I want to kind
birthday.
of try and as like a birthday treat, get him into gold. So I D-ranked, and it's impossible.
You D-ranked?
Yeah, it's an impossible task.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
Happy birthday, Des. We all love you.
I'll just say birthday. It's not really happy, is it?
It's just I'll ask him later. Jim is where we go next. And they had a pretty good hold downstairs. They were generally untouched out of the 3 points. Even though MnM have looked very comfortable, I would say, when things are swinging in their favor, this was the most comfortable of the 3.
Yeah. Jim looked really strong, the way that MnM had their offsite hold in towards the cash room, but they do a little bit differently compared to kind of the norm. Generally, we just see teams only stay in cash. You reinforce the double walls, which Packbull just reinforced, and then also the triple, and you just try and hold it, kind of like a turtle shell. Yeah. But these guys are extending out in towards security as well. So they're reinforcing in towards the balcony walls, and then also one in towards the garage, and they're also going to try and play the catwalk as well. So they're very spread out, so they're just trying to hold the entire top floor at once. Can be a risky strategy, but if they feel they have the manpower, and they have the gun skill and the refrags and everything going for them, then heck, who are we to say they can't do it? If they mess up, I'll tell them they can't do it.
Yeah, if they mess up, I'm sure you'll let them know. Well, Nathan is going to try and hold this, and this is the kind of rotation that we often see, is whether he's still got the reinforcement to fall back into the bathroom
no way.
Cuts Vex out of the equation very early, and hard walls have been a bit of a struggle so far for I'm with the boys.
That is just... The off-site positions that MnM are playing, I've been really impressed with. You look at Packbull on their church, he jumped up on towards the box in off-site position. Reese wasn't ready to pre-fire that. You even look at Nathan, he was playing very aggressive, run out of balcony to kill Reese in the last round. They're playing in very sneaky positions, and it's working for them. They're getting away with these crazy positions that we're not accustomed to. I'm sure I'm with the boys, they probably have no idea what they're getting killed from.
That's it. And I think this kind of shows, we talked about MnM and what they've been able to bring to this season. And as we said, it was a very good season for Prem, because obviously Secret had to kind of take a back seat, and that freed up a lot of teams to feel like they could step into that void, and a lot of them did try. But MnM were one of those teams where it was generally more unknown players. We knew them, sure, but compared to rosters like I'm with the boys with X-Pro League, or, you know, like Sunny carries as well that aren't here today, and these were one of the teams where we were like, they're going to have a tough time. And yet they have worked so hard to be able to pull apart these other teams, and the only team to pull apart Na'Vi.
However, 2 quick kills come in, and what a bandit trick by Nathan that has completely shut down the initial push from I'm with the boys. They are really limited with their options. They have snaked their way in towards the gym, and Tank gets an easy freebie on Nathan. Don't plant the hatch, Tank, don't do that. Drag does respond, that's in very low HP, and Reese lets that one slip as well. Tank in a 1v2 has to make it happen to give his team a fighting chance, but there you go again. The patience from MnM taking their time, and that's from the staircase. Threads the needle, and Tank goes down. MnM, look, this is a quick one already, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit of a quick one, but that was the slowest round we've had so far. That was the one that kind of came down to the wire most. It was, you know, a 1 versus 2, sure, but one of the two was very low health. They were slightly separated. They had found their way through aggressively to point. However, we're now going against Church, and if we throw our minds back just a couple of rounds, it started well, and then everything fell apart quickly.
It's still going to be a really tough bomb site. You know, still no Habana. Vexed, we said Vexed has a lot of potential. Oh boy, we were wrong.
But it's the thing, it's I'm with the boys this season. They have so much potential, but it's getting it to work.
Yeah.
Getting it to run as a 5 and being able to find the best of each other that has been the bit of a struggle so far. It's a tough day to show up as well. You're on the stage, you're coming together as a team for the first time on the stage, and you know, these are the moments that are tough to turn into diamonds.
Not even that. I think people also forget that they are playing with stand-in.
Yeah.
His Jugger, he's on holiday.
You know.
He's not here.
Is he somewhere nice?
I don't know where he's went. I think it is like...
It better be nice.
I think it's like
him to not be here.
He needs to get a very big plane to go there, that's all I know. So it must be somewhere nice. We don't get that luxury. We get a flight to Manchester.
Part-timers, mate. Part-time players. Either way, they're still playing with the stand-in. But, you know, it's one of those things where the stand-in has been doing okay so far. He's got a couple of frag grenade kills. He's been able to find his way through to the point. But again, it means that kind of continuity is the real word.
And Jugger's a really strong player. Jugger is really, really good. I think that he has like a lot of potential as well. Again, another past Pro League, team with Tank for I don't know how long, also team with Kendry back in the day, and Challenger League for how many seasons ever that happened. And it's a big hit to not have like that main guy there to help you through. Jugger's a really good shot caller for them as well, and not only that, just insane aim, really strong player, I think, has a great future ahead of him still as well, with just the way the team's progressing and everything going for it. But at the moment, it is kind of men against boys, isn't it? I think we know who the boys are.
Yeah, and, well, they're not with them. They are them this time round. And it's a bit of a shame, but
hey, got a kill!
Gets his opening frag for the game on the 5th, 6th round. And, well, let's see if he can kind of find a few more, because he is more than capable of doing it if he finds that confidence. There seems to be a bit more pace coming from I'm with the boys, and I think that's a good thing. It allows them to get aggressive, allows them to try and get a hold onto what is going on beneath them. In the meantime, the cover was where things started to go wrong. When they tried to aggressively push against Moto and they didn't have the ability to pick up against the man, if they had got that trade, even if they'd lost the thermite, they would have killed the man that then got 4 kills. Like, there's so many little moments, and we said it before, where things start to go wrong, and that is just one of them incarnate.
Jonka gone. It's kind of quiet down since his last time, and I really don't get how MnM are getting away with some of these aggressive plays. But hey, that's what they're known for. If you want to beat Nathan, you aim crouch height. We've learned that.
Well, there it is. Crouch before he swung the door, and there goes Nathan. Now Hayes, again, Hayes the stand-in player, who is not pictured currently.
It's just Vex.
Everyone is Vex right now. There he goes. He's the stand-in player, but he has been good. He's been good at picking up bodies. He's been good at picking up frags. And I guess it ties into what Tank said at the very beginning on the lovely on-stage interview with Ian, was they're kind of playing this ranked style. They're running aggressive. They're swinging guns and seeing what hits, and that can work for them. There's Dats on the floor from the trade as he drops 1, and now it's suddenly a 3 versus 1. The boys in the best situation they've been, but they're against Packbull. How does he get into that situation? And there it is, the shutdown, and the boys find their first round.
He tried to knife him as well. Oh, there's always one. It's always one round where it's just comedy.
It's gotta be. And to be fair, it may as well be the round before the swap of the half. It gives them a little bit of momentum. I'm with the boys. It takes a little bit out of MnM's kind of sails, and it allows them to go, okay, we have a 1-round buffer now. If we drop our third kind of point, that's okay. We can swing back round on another 2, and then we make it much tighter game because we've seen teams come back from these 5-1s before.
And we've already seen I'm with the boys in their playoffs against Sunny Carries. Yep. They pulled back to 6-3. They pulled back a 6-3 in Coastline to send them in. They won 8-6. That's really tough to do. And we know that UK teams rely heavily on momentum. I just kind of think that like every team relies so heavily on it these days, but there is certain teams I feel do a lot better whenever it is in their court. I think of a team like G2. If you give them anything at all, they'll sweep you. Navi, perfect example. What they did to G2, we can never forget the 5-0 back to a 7-5.
Oh, I never want to forget it. That's burnt in the... I think we should put that in the Prem flag and just fly it around. This is a memory, but...
Yeah, just don't worry, Japan was nothing. Don't worry, the G2 was the big victory.
Yeah.
But they're here to win the Manchester Major, so...
Hey, they're here, unless MnM have anything to say about it. The team that took points off them in Prem could arguably be the better team in the world right now. Today's going to be the day we find that out.
5 seconds remaining.
I will be willing to bet something for that.
Okay.
How's this? I will bet your hair.
Oh, no.
So if MnM do win and the Navi don't win the trophy, we'll shave your head. How's that?
Not enough money in the world, my friend.
No?
Not enough money in the world. Or scissors strong enough, actually. Heading now to the, you're going to opt for the church as the first point here and try and start with the basement hold. And that's a fair play because, yes, CCTV is a very good point, but with the bans that we have on the board right now, this is a much stronger point. You're solid. In a weird way, this is the one that you're more likely to be guaranteed a win, I say, saying after they just took it on the attack. And it gives them a bit of confidence doubling down on a point that they've been able to just take from the opponents, and it allows themselves to swing a little bit more comfortably onto it. In the meantime, a very, very slow and conceded drone effort here. They're really trying to pinpoint all the moments and locations of I'm with the boys to be able to start to collapse. And again, this is where MnM have been kind of focusing their gameplay. Nail everything, get everything done, get everything worked out, and then find a way to destroy the puzzle.
MnM taking, I would say, much slower paced kind of round compared to I'm with the boys. I'm with the boys, they had 3 people dead by this time. Whereas MnM, they know what they need to do. They know how long it takes. Curious to why they picked up the IQ rather than something else that could help them, like some soft breach for a buck, perhaps? Because IQ, yes, we know there's Valkyrie on table, but is Valkyrie really that strong on this map? I don't think she's as strong compared to other maps like Consulate.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you got the C4 utility, you got the ability to maybe hide a camera and get a cheeky kill.
Anticipating a pulse, perhaps? Well, which we know Yami's a fan of.
Yeah, but that's it, and that's the kind of plays where you look for here. But I think you're right, especially on this point where you generally know where they're going to be holding.
I think you want nades, don't you?
Yeah, you want something to be a little bit more kind of intuitive against this. And, well, they are hard pushing now against this church wall, and this is a favored kind of way of Kendrew attacking this.
Yeah.
Usually with the thermite is to get this wall open. The impacts are trying a trick against all the sides, but unfortunately Nathan, well, he can't quite draw a line right now, it seems.
That was an impact trick of the thermite charge. So that does cause issues now, and a C4 being tossed by Yami. Oh, Nathan, he goes down, and now all of a sudden MnM, they've lost their main pushing power, which was that blue torch, and they have really trapped themselves into a corner. The impact trick did not work this time. The wall's open, they try and sprint on in. Fine with the boys, they have the manpower and the gun skill to back it up. Oh, and they finally get going. That's another round for them, 2 in a row. Come back. It's going to be tough.
Are they back in town?
The boys are back in town.
I hope so.
I could just all I'm thinking of right now is just Woody and Buzz. That's all I think of.
Well, let's see if they can keep this momentum going. They seem to be in good spirits, which is a good thing as they find their second and make that gap ever so smaller. And that's the thing. This is a map where at least 2 of these points are consistently generally swinging into defenders, especially, as we said, with these bans on the board.
Church should always be defense.
Yeah.
Cash, though, is your moneymaker. Well, quite literally your moneymaker. That was unintentional, by the way. I know I'm good. I'm not that good. But Cash is the decider. I think it's up for both teams. Defense have a lot of great things. You look at the garage, how strong it can be held, the combination of bandit trick and Kai trick, whatever you want to go for. But then for the attacks, you have the downstairs vertical control. You can have a buck to open up in towards A-bomb, in towards B-bomb, nades in towards Catwalk. Because you think about Catwalk, if you open up that breach, whoever it is, Maestro, whatever who's playing there, Doc, I would imagine, from Hayes, he's trapped. He's stuck there. And then it really puts a lot of pressure on the defense to make those plays, and kind of gets in their head thinking, if I don't do something, I'm just going to get naded.
Yeah, I am actually curious because obviously when we saw this before and we said it, Maestro was the one that was playing on Catwalk. Maestro with the big gun and the cameras to be able to cover his own back is a really good operator. Here, they're going to have Hayes playing there. They're going to dock himself up, stim, and play aggressively. So I'm curious where they're going to put Yami's gun because it's still a great operator for this kind of point, but it's how they play him now I'm curious about.
I could easily see him being played in towards Staircase, can sit in the cameras for Hayes, give that information, destroy the drones with the Evil Eye. And whenever Maestro is played in Catwalk, I don't really like that position for Maestro, because if you lose that, you lose the power of turning the Maestro turrets. They're stuck where they are, you don't get to use the laser effect. Whereas Duck, even if you do get naded, that stim pistol is so valuable.
Yeah, and I think that's the fair trade there. Is it depends how aggressively not only you want to play it, but how aggressively you expect them to take it. Because if you're going to be playing it a bit more passive and you're going to try and find yourself closer towards the wall in the corner, Maestro's very good there. He can battle against both. If you're going to want to swing against the door, against the quad wall underneath you, maybe even against the kind of half wall below, and there's a lot of options there for a Doc to keep moving, keep healing, and keep killing. And there's, wow, Maestro taken down, drifting his beret a bit too high behind that reinforced wall.
There's the Doc, though. Great addition, can be able to stim him back up. Get him right back into the fight as if Yami never went down.
That he slipped, and, well, he's back and ready for more.
Whoa, what was that from Dax? Just flew straight up and somebody shot it midair. Or wait, did I get destroyed because it went too far at the map?
I think it went too far at the map.
Wow.
I don't know, unless someone is just like clay pigeon shooting.
Yeah, just pull!
Yeah, waiting to drop drones. Backbull opens up the frags. A buck that has been used very well today. Tank is looking for the response here, and it's the frag grenade danced and cooked, but nobody comes out the wiser. Jonker, in the meantime, finds Reese, and MnM are starting a very good collapse here, but Vex, the Jaeger underneath, gets the man, and that is the hard destruction off the board.
That is massive from Vex, but still, though, I think it's too little too late. MnM, they have control. They still have plenty of men alive. They have the fragging potential from Nathan and Packbull already, putting down big figures in a 1v3 now. In Garage, know where he is. Should be an easy pickup. Hayes down to 5 HP. There's the cleanup. MnM, match point.
Well, MnM, that was more akin to the rounds we saw in the beginning of this game. A very good and just balanced and coordinated push that we were kind of missing from some of I'm with the boys. But again, that's the difference of when you're here with your full 5 and when you're playing with the stand-in. However, obviously, now the decision is for I'm with the boys. Do they opt for another CCTV, or do they try, well, Jim and, well, I doubt open.
Go for bar.
Go for bar, yeah.
Crazy.
Hey, crazy works sometimes.
Hey, they say they want to play rank strat, so why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Get it going.
Get a Frost in there.
Get a Frost. Just get every trap.
Frost behind Billy.
Every trap. Where's the Titan Killer, man? Maybe that's their savior.
I guess we'll have to see. Maybe on this, maybe on the next point, maybe on the next map.
Yami is an Ela player, but the man plays a Scorpion.
Okay, so that's kind of sacrilegious to you, isn't it? That's.
Yeah, it is. It's a religion.
Please don't.
The Titan Killer.
Please don't start a religious prophecy here. 6-2 MnM Gaming, and it looks like, well, this is going to be their clubhouse to take. And I'm kind of curious as to what the changes here are going to do for I'm with the boys. Obviously, Maestro is what they've decided to take out of this. They're going to bring the Legion to slow the roll. The Smoker was taken out a bit too quick before, and sticking with the, obviously, Kaid and the Doc. And this gives them much less visibility, but to be fair, it didn't do them any favors in the previous round.
I still think you need information, though. You still need some.
Do you think a Valkyrie or a Pulse underneath would have been a better choice here? Because obviously we've already seen Vex running around underneath aggressively on the Jaeger.
I think Valk, probably.
Because the fact that they didn't pay any attention to the floor below, they just let Vex do what Vex was doing. Obviously, I say that, they would have had drones, they would have droned it out, but body count, rotation, it's a big map, Clubhouse.
I think MnM are smart enough to see, okay, they brought the Pulse, it is a C4 destructible bomb site. We know what they're going to go for, and then they would, of course, we hope so, can proceed to go ahead and do the drone clear out, find the Pulse, wherever they need to do. But no information is really going to hurt them. I'd imagine Doc does have a bulletproof. That would be my go-to, because you always need one to kind of give that control of Garage and give that information. Kai, trick works!
Oh.
That was close. That must have been a millisecond between them.
Exceptionally close, and Tank has this down to a T from range. And Well, now it's down for MnM to try and find a way to get this open because, well, Jonker has drifted somewhere else for now, and he's going to have to find his way back round over the top, and he's still concerned about the window that he was cracking from the backside, but you're not going to be able to shut down Tank that easily, so you're just going to have to try and find a little bit more of a sightline inside, and that is going to be down to Nathan and Dats. You can see Vex creeping around underneath, but there goes your Thatcher, and that wall is staying hard.
What are they doing? Why is Thatcher not going over and eliminating the Electroclaw? This is not strong whatsoever from MnM. They have really backed themselves into a hole because it just allows I'm with the boys to have these rotations, that freedom and flexibility to not have to worry about getting shut down from that massive open breach.
Well, Vex is going to try and creep his way back around towards the firefight. Pre-fires against the Jacuzzi wall, but Pack is actually swung around to the opposite corner and is going to open himself a bit more malleability in the rotation there. Vex playing underneath inside bar, pre-fires through a hatch and looks for anybody and almost catches everybody, but nothing quite lands and nothing quite shuts anyone down now. The drones are still there, and with a minute on, MnM only really have the option of this wall or to get aggressive and push underneath and try and take red in garage because, well, the other main wall of caches and CCTV is staying hard. Can the frag grenade catch it this time? Can't quite dig the man out the corner. The smoke canisters pop off and Vex finds Nathan from round the back, and now it is all shutting down for MnM on this push as the Legions come in. The slowed roll. I'm with the boys. Find another body inside construction, and suddenly it's the ace clutch situation, but nothing sticks.
One rookie mistake has cost MnM another very simple round for themselves. And we talk about the basics, Fluke. That shows what you need to do. Losing the Thatcher or not using the EMPs, that should not happen at this level that we know MnM can play to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of curious. Maybe we saw him burn an EMP off screen. I don't quite remember if he had...
You burn free? On what?
I don't know. That's the question. That's what I don't know. And I'm just maybe trying to give a benefit of the doubt as to why he didn't.
You're always Mr. Optimistic, aren't you?
The thing is, though, obviously it might be a bit harder to know, and I'm saying this from our omnipotent position above. The Kaid Claw was at the top. He would have been able to just Thatcher across the roof to get that one. He didn't even have to really move from where he was. He just had to roll it to the side and not take that firefight. And he just kind of blinkered himself in on this firefight, and you know, you can't, okay, little mistakes. I keep saying little mistakes. It's little mistakes. But we're back down to Church, and this was a very good I'm with the boys point.
Little mistake, but a huge consequence. So you look at it.
Yeah. 6-3. 6-3, let's say they get this point, they then have to go to Gym.
Yes.
And that is a tough place to play.
We haven't seen it yet, though. So it's kind of up there. With the boys.
I think a big part of how it could go could be down to Vex. If he's still playing as aggressively below with the success that he's had, and maybe it's because he's not really been as contested as they could. And I'm sure we saw them droning, we saw them looking for him, and he was able to just kind of stay alive down there and become a problem later on in the round, which is what you want your flankers to do. That could be even more monumental on the opposite point.
Still bringing the IQ. But there really hasn't been anything that I'm with the boys has done, I would say, to really lean in towards a very heavy information. Echo's banned. That's already a reason why you don't really need IQ as heavily. We've already talked about Valkyrie. This isn't really her map. It's not a strong one for her, that. Playing for the gun. 5.52 is pretty good. Algs, get there. GAA1. Yeah, I mean, the Alibi. MX4 Storm. One of my favorite guns.
It's a, well, there goes
no
IQ.
suppressor, though. Why is there not a suppressor? Not following in the footsteps of Ben, Citizen McMillan.
Yeah. Is that the full build?
Yes.
Did you list every build for Ben, Citizen?
I kind of know him, yeah.
Okay. Like, oh, wow. I'm very impressed. Hayes, the stand-in player, is dug in on blue right now. Obviously, IQ off the table, as we were just kind of waxing lyrical, isn't been the best operator for the lineup so far, and unfortunately can't quite find the ground in this match. And I think, you know, it's one of those things now where you kind of look at how they can start collapsing against this point, and they're concerned about the body on the top floor.
Still low for MnM, taking their time with it.
Yeah.
They're down a man. Probably kind of puts them back into a safety mechanic where they don't really want to try and take those gunfights, but at some point, they're going to have to. It's Clubhouse. It's the Clubhouse bloodbath. We always talk about this and how hectic it gets during those later stages. Jonker does catch Legions. I was a little bit scared there, thinking, don't miss drone him, don't miss drone him, don't let it happen. Now they'll start to work their way down. So last time, look, they had a lot of issues with the impact tricking.
Yeah, and it was a really, really good kind of hold. We saw Nathan, in the meantime, brings it back to a balance, takes care of the smoke. That's been very well played by Reese today, and that's a great operator because that roll has been stemmed and slowed against them so much. In the meantime, they're putting pressure, and Lesion's actually rotated to try and hold on to Dirt, but Dats finds Yami, and the close down is getting better and better. However, it comes back to a balance here, and it's a 3-3 with a minute on. So much time left.
That was the only pressure that I'm with the boys were dealing with, was simply that dirt tunnel. Now they have that freedom. Knowing, honestly, it's very unlikely we're going to see a rotate from MnM. With 40 seconds to go, they're really limited to their kitchen. They're going to drop for it. Drak, he takes the plunge, tries to go for the plant. Where's the cover? It will come in. Vexed in such low HP. He's trying to find an angle, but Dats has it on lockdown. That diffuser's down. This is going to be one heck of a retake for mine with the boys if they want to get this round under their belt and keep themselves in it. Oh, but there's MnM. A flurry of kills come in. Tank, he gets one from across the grave, but still though, Vex stuck inside the dirt. Really no hope. MnM, first map for themselves, Fluke. Already, we're done 7-3.
That was absolutely exceptional how they just read and threw the diffuser down. The only time we saw the diffuser go down at all throughout that first map, and it is a kind of balls to the wall, get in that
just
point,
you
get
only
down.
live once.
And that's the thing, is that what surmises their play. They had the cover, they had the guns in the right places, and that is what MnM are doing so brilliantly.
Oh, we'll have to see if they can keep it going. I'm with the boys. Now they have a bit of time to try and recuperate themselves, but we're going to go to a break. We'll see you guys after that.